The conflict between Iran, Israel, and their allies has entered one of its most dangerous phases in decades, with both sides unleashing unprecedented military strikes that are rapidly expanding across the Middle East. What began as targeted operations has now evolved into a multi-front war involving missile barrages, assassinations of top officials, attacks on energy infrastructure, and mounting civilian casualties. The consequences are being felt far beyond the immediate battlefield, rattling global markets and raising fears of a broader regional war. In the latest escalation, Iran launched a fresh wave of missile and drone strikes targeting Israel, marking one of the most intense retaliatory actions since the conflict began in late February 2026. Reports confirm that multiple projectiles reached central Israel, with impacts reported in key urban areas. Among the most alarming incidents was damage reported at Israel's primary international gateway, Ben Gurion Airport. While early claims suggested extensive destruction, official updates indicate that at least 3 aircraft were damaged, largely due to interceptor debris rather than direct missile hits. The attack caused temporary disruption to airport operations and renewed concerns about the vulnerability of critical infrastructure. This marks the first time during the current war that Israel's main airport has suffered damage, underscoring the expanding reach of Iranian strikes. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps described the barrage as part of a continuing campaign of retaliation. The strikes reportedly involved advanced ballistic missiles, including multi-warhead systems designed to overwhelm missile defenses. The escalation comes in direct response to a series of high-profile Israeli strikes deep inside Iran. Among the most significant was the killing of Ali Larijani, a senior political and security figure who served as the head of Iran's Supreme National Security Council. His death was confirmed by Iranian authorities and is widely seen as a major blow to Iran's leadership structure. Also killed in separate strikes was Gholamreza Soleimani, the commander of Iran's besieged paramilitary force, an organization long associated with internal security and suppression of dissent. These targeted assassinations represent a strategic shift, signaling Israel's intent to directly weaken Iran's command structure rather than merely targeting infrastructure. In response, Iran has vowed continued retaliation, framing its actions as both defensive and symbolic. He said the missiles were launched for the blood of Ali Larijani and his companions. This statement reflects the deeply personal and political nature of the conflict, where each strike is both a military operation and a message. The human cost of the conflict continues to rise. Iranian missile strikes have caused casualties inside Israel, including civilian deaths in residential areas. In one confirmed incident, at least 2 civilians were killed in central Israel when missile debris struck a residential zone. Meanwhile, Israeli strikes have inflicted heavy damage across Iran and beyond. Over 2,000 people have reportedly been killed since the conflict began, with casualties spread across multiple countries. Lebanon has also been drawn deeper into the conflict, with Israeli strikes targeting Hezbollah positions, displacing large populations and worsening an already fragile humanitarian situation. Perhaps the most alarming development is the widening geographic scope of the conflict. Iran has expanded its attacks beyond Israel, targeting energy and military sites across the Gulf region, including Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. These strikes have sent shockwaves through global energy markets. Oil prices have surged dramatically by nearly 50% since the conflict began, amid fears of supply disruptions. At the center of these concerns is the Strait of Hormuz, a critical choke point through which a significant portion of the world's oil supply passes. The strait has been partially disrupted, further intensifying global economic anxiety. In a major escalation, Israel carried out strikes on Iran's South Pars gas field, the largest natural gas field in the world, marking a shift toward targeting economic lifelines. The attack halted operations at key facilities and triggered immediate spikes in global oil prices. Gulf nations have strongly condemned such actions, warning that targeting energy infrastructure threatens global stability. At the same time, Iran has retaliated by striking oil and gas facilities in neighboring countries, further raising the stakes. Another defining feature of the current phase of the war is the deployment of increasingly sophisticated weaponry. Iran has reportedly used advanced ballistic missiles, including newly introduced systems such as the Hajj Qassam missile, named after a former Ur commander. These missiles are designed for precision and may carry multiple warheads, making them more difficult to intercept. Footage from recent attacks suggests the use of cluster munitions, missiles that release multiple submunitions midair, further complicating defense efforts and increasing risks to civilians. Israeli officials have indicated that their campaign will continue targeting senior Iranian leadership. Statements from Israel's defense establishment suggest that further strikes against high-ranking Iranian officials have already been authorized without requiring additional approvals. This reflects a broader strategic doctrine, weakening Iran's leadership to disrupt its military coordination and political cohesion. Inside Iran, the deaths of senior leaders have triggered large-scale public mourning. Funeral processions in Tehran have drawn massive crowds, with images showing flag-draped coffins carried through the streets amid chants and displays of national unity. These ceremonies are not merely acts of remembrance, they are also powerful political signals. He said, Iran is in mourning, but it is also sending a message the world cannot ignore. The message is clear. Iran's leadership losses have not weakened its resolve. Instead, they have intensified its determination to respond. What was once a contained confrontation has now expanded into a multi-front war involving direct Iran-Israel exchanges, U.S. military involvement, attacks on Gulf states, and Hezbollah engagement in Lebanon. The scale and complexity of the conflict are unprecedented in recent Middle Eastern history. Analysts warn that the situation is approaching a tipping point where further escalation could lead to a full-scale regional war. The consequences of this conflict extend far beyond the Middle East. Energy markets are already feeling the strain, with rising prices affecting economies worldwide. Shipping routes have been disrupted and global supply chains face increasing uncertainty. Diplomatic efforts to de-escalate the situation have so far failed to produce meaningful results. As the conflict intensifies, the path forward remains deeply uncertain. Each side continues to escalate with no clear signs of de-escalation. Military operations are becoming more aggressive, targets more sensitive, and the risks more severe. He said this conflict is no longer contained. That statement captures the reality of the current moment, a regional crisis that is rapidly evolving into something far larger. The Middle East now stands at a critical crossroads. With rising casualties, expanding battle lines, and increasing involvement from global powers, the stakes have never been higher. What began as a series of calculated strikes has transformed into a volatile and unpredictable war, one that could reshape the geopolitical landscape of the region for years to come. He said what began as calculated targeted strikes has now spiraled into a multi-front confrontation. And as the world watches, one question looms large: how far will this escalation go?